Hi, Michelle Berger here from buffmother.com. I am doing another vlog today. I'm in a vlogging mood the last couple of days. So I am dolled up today because last night I got a message from the director of my movie that he needed some pickup shots of me driving into town, and I needed to do a little bit of audio, added another line to transition a scene. So anyway, I was like, I don't know when to do it. I don't know when this is going to work out. I'm like, hey, let's do it tomorrow. That works out for me. And so I skipped acting class to actually go act. So my daughters, Tia and Layla, they actually went to acting class today, and I skipped out. And then after that, we had to exchange kids for sleepovers and stuff like that. So it's 5 o'clock, and I finally got home. So all day has been consumed with being an actress. It's actually very hard work, and being an actress is something that has always been a dream of mine, but I've never acted on it. So I've just dabbled with it over the last few months, actually, and I've been enjoying it, and I think it's something I'd like to do a little bit more in the future. So other than that, yesterday I went on a run, and I wanted to talk to you about lactic acid training. Okay, right now we have a contest going on that is every week we have a new focus, and this week we're talking about lactic acid. Lactic acid is what that burning sensation you get in your muscles when you work really, really hard. So it's not, it's not aerobic. It is a byproduct of what happens when you are pushing past aerobic into anaerobic. And so basically it's things like, for instance, if you're familiar with track terms, the 400-meter dash is basically a lactic acid race. You know, the first 100, it's pretty explosive, pretty much anaerobic, and then you start using your aerobic system, and then all of a sudden, that last 100 meters, the monkey jumps on your back, and you can barely move your muscles anymore. It's a injury prevention mechanism of your body. So it's very amazing. But the other thing that's really cool about lactic acid is that you can train your body to actually use lactic acid as fuel. So the more often you actually push into that hard place where you're burning and hurting and can maintain and make your muscles move still through that lactic acid burning and pain and even that locking up feeling, the more you do that, the more often you do that, the more enabled your body is to burn lactic acid for fuel. So lactic acid training is very much the rage right now. You know, if you hear about Tabata or a lot of metabolic type training practices, they make you do fast bursts and like intense, actually longer than about 30 seconds is about long enough to really get lactic acid going if you're really pushing hard. And then they only give you like 10 seconds or maybe 30 seconds of recovery, and then they make you do it again. So a lot of circuit training, a lot of hits, high intensity interval training, Tabata, metabolic, a lot of sports performance type things use lactic acid training because it's very effective and efficient. You don't have to do very much time. You don't have to do it for very long. I mean, even 4 minutes of it is very effective. So but the thing is it's very painful, and so if you think every time you work out you have to do that, no, you don't, and honestly you shouldn't. It's something that you should push into your lactic acid system up to like 4 times a week, pretty much max. Really challenging it is not recommended every day because you just don't have enough time to recover. It's very explosive. You can hurt overuse injuries and all kinds of things like that. But I am actually a lactic acid athlete. I really excelled at the 400 and the 800 meter when I was in college, and I believe it's a God-given talent on how well you can assimilate and work through it, and also how your body can build up an ability to use lactic acid as fuel. So for me, lactic acid training is my background, and I know how hard it is, and I know how painful it is. So I don't honestly train my lactic acid system as often as I should, but I also do know going to that place, like feeling that pain to where you're kind of tingling or your arms hurt, you're burning, that's good. You need to push into that, because if you don't challenge yourself, you're not going to see change. So when I do run my intervals, the first if it's a minute long interval, the first 45 seconds, you know what, that's pretty much aerobic for me. And then it really starts building up. The lactic acid starts building up. And by the minute, then I'm like, oh, that was burning. And then you start doing you do another interval, and then of course you recover in between. And usually what I like to do with my Buff Mother intervals is to have a lot of times I recommend doing 1 minute on, 1 minute off. Now, the thing about a lot of what you are seeing in like Tabata training and things, they're not letting you have very much recovery in between. So that just makes the lactic acid build up more and more and more, and pretty soon your optimal output isn't very well. So what I recommend is the shorter interval that you're going to have, so like the more intensity. So say for instance, if you're running sprints, which are more like 15-second long, really pushing hard, and then like maybe the last 6-7 seconds of that sprint is when you're starting to feel the lactic acid. Let yourself have longer rest in between those so you can really perform well. And you're still pushing into lactic acid. So like for when I do sprints that are 15 seconds long, I make sure that I have like 2 or 3 minutes in between each one, maybe more sometimes even. And so it's one of those things to where you need to train smart, and you need to train for optimal output, and that's really what's going to change your body. So good luck with training into your lactic acid system, and make sure that you do get recovery afterwards. Make sure you eat well afterwards. Make sure you hydrate to help flush out the toxins, any toxins left over from that type of training. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this vlog about my little acting gig, and also about lactic acid training. By the way, the movie is called The Phone in the Attic. We have a Facebook page, The Phone in the Attic, and I'm Buff Mother, so you can check me out on buffmother.com, or just Google Buff Mother and you'll find me everywhere. Anyway, take care. Bye.